طيب, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Salatu Salam ala Rasulillah. Any questions before we pray? Bidnillahi ta'ala tonight. Fadal, Akhil Kareem.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wayyik.
What is it, the response to those who say, if you don't follow a madhab, then your fiqh and your fatawa will be inconsistent?
Tayyib. What's the response to those who say if you do not follow a madhab, your fiqh or your fatawa will be inconsistent? As we've explained many times before, the discussion of madhabs, studying them, following them, teaching them, blindly following them, etc., is a detailed discussion. Point number one. There has to be detail or details with regards to yay or nay. As far as this, briefly, then I agree and I disagree with this argument. The part that I agree with, if a person who does not follow a madhab, his fiqh and his fatwa will be inconsistent. I agree with that to an extent. But what's the problem with inconsistency? I.e., what they mean by that word inconsistent is this one way. A person is supposed to follow that which he or she feels is the truth and the strongest, wherever it may be. And if that's what's meant by inconsistent, then so be it. Right? So if a person says, let's just make an example of this. A person says, my favorite clothing brand is Polo Ralph Lauren. Methanin. However, in the wintertime, I wear a jacket or a coat or Parker, I'm going to get a Woolrich or Canada Goose or a Carhartt. Because these people, they specialize in cold weather. Canada Goose is from Canada. The cold is of no comparison to that of the United States. So therefore, I like to wear polo from head to toe, but my jacket is going to be what? Canada Goose. Because here, right now, the jacket is what? It's better. It's superior. All right? And my boots on my feet, Polo Ralph Lauren, they make boots. But I'm going to wear Red Wing boots that have all grams of insulation, steel toe, this and that, for the ice, for the snow, etc., etc., etc. Do my shoes, the brand of my boots, do they match the brand of my jacket? Do they match the brand of my sweater? The sweaters, my thermals, my long johns. Under my Polo Ralph Lauren sweater is of another company. It's U.S. military issue. What people could have a greater need and necessity for being warm than get the point I'm trying to make? So person, he looks at how I'm dressed and says, your wardrobe, your clothes are what? That's a what? Good thing or bad thing here? It's a good thing. Alright, you understand this? So my original default madhab is Ralph Lauren. However, here, he outdid Ralph. With the boots, with the hats, with this is what? It's superior. Everyone understand this? So what's the problem with that? You understand? In this issue of any issue, raising the hands, whatever it may be, I feel that this view that states this with regards to the hands, outside of the Hanafi madhab, is superior. So someone asks me that, or what do? I say this is what I do, even though that's against the Hanafi madhab. So if that's what you mean by inconsistent, then what? There's nothing wrong with that. All right. As far as if a person means inconsistent, that your usul, why you adopt this view, is all over the place. In this issue, you say it's haram to sleep lying on your belly because of a hadith. Even if the hadith isn't authentic, or it isn't the most authentic hadith, but there's a hadith, so you should just what? Avoid it. Then in another issue, person asks you, what's the ruling on eating a hedgehog? Is it lawful? Is it khabith? Is it filthy? Is it foul? A person says there's nothing wrong with eating a hedgehog. What's the proof that it's halal? Isn't there a hadith that says you can't eat a hedgehog? You can't eat it? That hadith is da'if. So the hadith about sleeping on the belly, for argument's sake, is weak, but I say it's haram. But the hadith about eating a hedgehog, even though I know it's weak, I say you can't what? Eat the hedgehog, and that's what I'm basing it off of. Here, my fiqh, my madhab, my fatwa is what? Inconsistent. You get the difference here? So what do you mean by inconsistent? You pick that which is most correct, that which is strongest, or your way of deducing and why and how you got here, that is inconsistent. You pick and you choose. So I agree and I disagree with that. For argument's sake, as we've explained many times before, people who push madhabs and say that you have to study and you have to follow, or you even should, they themselves are extremely hypocritical. And if you study one madhab, you'll find a great deal of differing and fighting and bickering and 4 or 5 different views within one madhab. So following the madhab under any circumstance is a utopia. A promised land, a safe haven. That's a lie. Certain levels, certain things that you don't tell the layman, for sure. But the same applies to something outside of a madhab. It's lawful for you to wear this. That's it. It's unlawful for you to do that. That's it. This is how you pray in general. This is how you fast in general. So there are levels to knowledge. There are levels to fiqh. Inside and what? Outside of madhabs. Many times people who have these madhabs, they're like car salesmen. They're like used or pre-owned car salesmen. They're lying and they're hiding stuff. And they have shameless agenda. They just want to push it up. They just want you to buy the car even though they know the car's a lemon. They know that the car has more mileage. They know that the car, this isn't the best price for the car, but they present, this is perfect. It's clean, it's this and this and this and so on and so forth, right? And they get you in a vulnerable state. Wallahu ta'ala alam. From online.
HS Windsor, Canada. At my job, I get paired randomly with other people, and they do work, but also occasionally waste time. And when they waste time, I'm forced to waste time as well. Our supervisor would not allow us to waste time. Is my income halal? Should I talk to my supervisor about this?
If you're forced to waste time, then you're forced, as you've stated. And if you're forced, you're not responsible for it. As far as speaking to your supervisor, then try to advise your coworker not to waste time before you go to the supervisor. Wallahu alam.
ZA Queens, New York is playing with dice haram?
A Muslim shouldn't play with dice. He should stay away from it.
AK STLMO. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Any advice for getting a Muslim roommate? Are there any recommended questions one should ask?
St. Louis, Missouri. Getting a roommate. Are there any questions that a person should ask? Basic stuff. Basic stuff. Things that you shouldn't be doing no matter what type of Muslim you are. Disrespect. What type of lifestyle you lead. What you smell like. Basic stuff. Basic respect. Basic decency. Basic privacy. You don't have to give that person an aqidah questionnaire or a fiqh questionnaire. What madhab do you follow, so on and so on and so forth. Basic stuff, right? Wallahu ta'ala adam.
RE, Richmond, Virginia. Is it haram to wear a floral dress if it's modest and wearing a wide hijab?
Is it haram to wear a floral dress if it's modest and to wear a wide hijab, so on and so forth? I cannot say that it's haram for a Muslim woman to wear a floral dress. I can't say that. Okay? I wouldn't advise with it. I would advise you to wear a solid color hijab. I would advise you as a Muslim sister or brother for your daughter or wife not to wear a dress. I would advise you to wear an actual abaya, and not just a loose dress. However, if a Muslim sister wears a dress and it's loose, it's not tight at all, and it has flowers on it, I can't say that's haram. Many of these different issues that we discuss, if not most of them, are ijtihad issues. There's no consensus. What's important is that the clothes have to fulfill the conditions of the Muslim hijab, the Islamic hijab. And many of those conditions will be subjective. One sister says it's modest, it's not attracting attention. Another sister says that that's attracting attention. Me personally, I wouldn't prefer it. If you were my daughter or my sister or my mother or my wife or whatever, I would say don't wear a floral dress outside, period. Even if it's modest. Wear a solid color, dark colored, Islamic hijab. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Age, Queens, New York. Is it haram to neuter a cat that you have for a pet?
Is it haram to neuter a cat? A cat should not be neutered. That's violating a cat, for sure. Can you get a cat that's already been neutered? Obviously, it's not as bad as you doing it yourself, but you're supporting the industry of neutering. and you're making more of a demand for neutered cats. That's a problem. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
IT, Roseville, California. What is the ruling on student loans?
A student loan, we've spoken on this many times before. A student loan is a band-aid on a broken arm. If I said a student loan is haram or halal, that isn't going to fix the chaotic situation that we live in today. With regards to riba, usury, and or interest. Are they the same? Is there a percentage? That's a discussion. Is it a necessity to go to college? Is it a necessity to take a student loan? Is it lawful to take a loan that you feel confident you can pay back before interest is attached, etc.? What most Muslims feel and think about going to school, and that if their children do not go to school and become a doctor or an engineer, then they're a failure. And I'm going to make dua against you. And the only success that you can have is being an engineer or a doctor, right? And it's a big problem. You can't get married. You have to have a master's. You have to have a doctor's. You have to do this. You have to be this age. You have to marry this one from this race, from this. It's a mushkila. And if you visit colleges around the world, it's all the same. From Europe to America to Canada, it's all the same. The children are forced by their parents, pressured by their parents to study for all of these years. These free mixed colleges, you can't get married. It's a problem. It's a big problem. Allah musta'an.
AH, Queens, New York. Can a person talk during Adhan, or is it inappropriate? May Allah bless you.
There's nothing wrong with talking during the Adhan, whether it is obligatory to repeat after the mu'adhin or not. You can repeat after the mu'adhin and still say something in between. Alright? Scholars of Islam, they differ on whether it is obligatory or not to reply to the mu'adhin. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
HG, Fontana, California. Is it halal to sell an Xbox? Because the main reason people buy one is to play video games, and all games have music. I only plan on selling the Xbox, not the video games. Is this halal?
Don't sell the Xbox. Period. You yourself have mentioned people buy the Xbox to play this, to listen to this. Don't sell it. Whether it's your Xbox controller, a cord, an adapter, stay away from it.
AH, Queens, New York. What should someone advise a woman that her husband doesn't give her money for things, but he would give his sisters and brothers stuff?
The husband doesn't give his wife any money, but he gives his sisters and brothers stuff. I would say, fear Allah. Advise him with taqwa. No doubt that's your brother. No doubt that's your sister. That's a good deed. Alhamdulillah. They may need you. But none of those people share a bed with you. It's common sense for the one who shares a bed with you to receive your good treatment before anybody else. And from some aspects, not all, the woman that you share a bed with is going to come before your mother. From some aspects. Of course, the mother is superior. The strongest piece on the board is the queen. But the queen isn't as important as the king. Alright? And the whole game depends on the king. Right? So this woman is your wife. Your mother gave you birth. If you divorce her, your mother will always be your mother. But you're not going to sleep with your mom. You're not waking up with your mom. This woman knows secrets about you that not even your what? Your mother may know. Etc. etc. Huh? No understand.
TA, Bronx, New York. When telling someone that Mawlid is bid'ah, they responded that Quran recitation competitions are innovation because they didn't have them during the time of the Prophet ﷺ. How should I reply? Are they innovation?
If someone is celebrating the Prophet ﷺ's birthday, you advise them not to do so. If they reject what you say or argue this and that, Jazakallah khairan. Keep it moving. End of discussion. Don't get into no scholastic debate. Wallahu alam.
AJ, Cincinnati, Ohio. Salam Sheikh. What's the ruling on taking a book from the Masjid with the intention of returning it, inshallah?
It depends on the masjid. Some masjids allow that. The custom of the people. Some masjids don't allow it. So it depends.
ON, New York, New York. Assalamu alaikum. What is the ruling on renting a place financed with insurance money? Does anything about the renter occupation, faith, pets, etc., have any bearing on the income?
Like renting a place, financed with what? Insurance?
Finance with insurance money.
Khayran. What's important is, oftentimes insurance is a necessity. Oftentimes you don't have a choice, whether you're paying it or whether you're benefiting from it. Oftentimes there's no option. That's first and foremost. Certain things you can't own, certain things you can't drive, certain places you can't go unless it's insured. Whether you are on the receiving or the giving in. Sometimes that's how it is. That's first and foremost. As far as different pets and different stipulations for those who are renting or those who are tenants, that's what they're asking about?
It just says, does anything about the renter have any bearing on the income, like occupation, faith, pets?
Yes and no. A landlord, quote unquote, there are certain things that you shouldn't allow in your property. That's a fact. But you don't have the control to establish everything upon the one who's renting from you, your tenants. You don't know what they do, nor is it your job to search and to prod and to pry into all of their detailed business. So it depends. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
AK St. Louis, Missouri. If your job is paying for health insurance and you don't pay it, is it haram to sign the enrollment forms to get the benefits?
Say the question one more time, please.
If your job is paying for health insurance and you don't pay it, is it haram to sign the enrollment forms to get the benefits?
I don't understand the question.
HS Windsor, Canada. What is the ruling on paying car insurance?
As we explained, oftentimes insurance is a necessity. We have, if I'm not mistaken, a full lecture series on the rulings of insurance. You can find it on HadithDiscipleshop.com. We did a monthly lecture and workshop on the rulings of insurance.
That's it for me.
وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا وإمامنا محمد.